Okay, so good day, people. I hope you all doing well. My name is Roy Allen Custodio, and I am here together with Mr. Jhomel Custodio. Hi, Mr. Jhomel. How are you?
Hello, bro. I'm already fine for the day.
Okay. So for this day, we're going to talk about land reclamation or land filling. For some of you that didn't know what is this process, this is where a certain part from the bodies of water will be filled with lots and lots of soil to transform it into land or an artificial island. Mr. Jamal and I prepared some questions regarding to this particular topic. First, I will ask him some questions, then after he answered all of that, he will be the one to ask me some of his prepared questions. So, Brother Jamal, are you ready?
Yes, bro. I'm ready.
Okay, so let's begin. My first question for you is, do you agree with land reclamation?
Okay. My answer for that is maybe yes or maybe no.
Oh, okay. Then can you give us some thoughts for that answer of yours?
Sure. We are talking here about the two sides of land reclamation, the good and the bad side. Starting with the good side, we can use this process when it's necessary. We know that reclamation is one of the solutions when we talk about adding some ground space. But for my opinion, it is useful when there are bodies of water that has risk of danger, especially for us. But the bad thing to do is when we reclaim an area. Then after that, some water will cover some of the land areas that many people might be affected. As I suggest, we must really have a strong plan and study for a particular place before doing this process.
Yes, I see. I will agree with that answer. So your point here is as long that it will not affect our nature and the people. Is that right?
Mm. Yes, exactly. That's the point here. Because nature is very important. So we should really consider it before doing this process. I believe that once we destroy or damage it, the chances of restoring it to how it is very critical.
Yeah, we will regret the effects that it may cause to us. So thank you for answering strongly for that question.
I'm glad to share my thoughts about that.
Okay, so moving on to our next question. This one is related to your last answer about nature. How does the land reclamation damages our nature in what ways? What can you add about that?
In order to do the land reclamation process, where should we find soil? Of course, it's in the land itself. The truth is the soil that they are using in this process comes from rocky mountains or terrain. Some of the mountains are highly damaged and turns out to be hill or flat. It's sad that these mountains are the habitat for some animals and trees to prevent flooding, but some are already destroyed. Then, after that, they will transfer the soil and drop into the ocean floor until it surpasses the water level. Then this process will take months and even a year. Then this will also harm and will cause some damage to our water resources, such as fishes and their natural habitat. More on that, the waters will go into the lowland areas and it will be permanent. We are talking here some serious matters about our nature.
Wow, that's true. Seriously. That answer was very true and timely. Very well said.
We should be concerned about our nature. I hope that every one of you that are listening right now will agree to what I said. All right. So, Mr. Allen, it's my turn to ask you some questions or comments regarding to this topic. Okay? Starting on this question, how will you solutionize some problems in land reclamation process, such as planning, risk, and allowing it.
All right. My answer for that is we are humans, or we the humans are the ones who is responsible for doing this kind of process. But not all of us has the power or even the authority to allow that process to happen. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources has that power and authority for that process to be approved or to prevent it. But I'm not blaming them for allowing some of the reclaimed area, but I wish that they should strengthen the requirements or the plans when doing this process. And of course, you're right that we should first consider the effects that will cause in our nature instead of considering its benefits for us, right?
Yes, that's true, Mr. Allen. They say that we are the most powerful creatures here
Agree.
on Earth. But the problem is we sometimes overuse it for our own desires, even when it causes bad things on our planet.
Definitely. That's why we should be wise and serious enough before doing this, as you said earlier.
Thank you for that answer. I think we should move on for my next question for you. So, okay, for you, what are some of the hazards that might happen when natural disasters occurs?
That's an interesting question. For me, it depends on the construction or the reclaimed area itself. Because the number one is when an earthquake occurs. Mostly the stronger ones or powerful ones. When the ground of the reclaimed area are not well compressed, it would cause for some establishments, especially the new ones or the older ones, to collapse easily simply because the foundation is weak. And I think that it is the one of disadvantages of land reclamation. Also, it depends on location of the reclaimed area when it is near or attached to the land. There are possible advantages that the ground is stronger because the waters are shallower. Unlike when the reclaimed area is located far from the land, it will be surrounded by many risks and hazards. And I think it needs a very precise plan before the land reclaiming happens because it might be prone for big crashing waves, mostly from deep waters and tsunamis from an earthquake. The possibilities for making land reclamation are endless, but as we make it happen, the risks and hazards appears.
You also have your point here that danger is everywhere. That's why safety is number one priority. And you're right that we'll never know what's wrong if we will never go through some testings. I agree with your answers.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Jhomel. And I think that's all. So thank you again for joining me and for this certain topic. And your ideas or thoughts was very concerned about our nature and for us.
Thank you also for having me here and yours too. I am happy to share my own thoughts about for the good of our nature.
Okay, so this is the end of our little discussion or interview. I hope that you learned something about land reclamation. And as always, have a good day and stay updated. Goodbye.
Thank you everyone.